everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I'm here with my good friend Charles Warren, and we're here to talk about last night's episode of Survivor. It was a great episode. We only have 49 minutes to get through this, so let's just jump right into the episode. If you went by my title, I said Charles, Evie, and Naseer.
Mm-hmm.
I, in a million years, was not expecting Evie and Naseer to go home. I just knew some black people were going home this week.
Still waiting on
I
that
just knew
Danny
it.
eviction.
I just I wanted Evie to go home because I'm sick of Evie. I understand why they sent Naseer home, but I want us to think about just the strategy of it. Did both teams make the correct moves? What do you think? Or you want to start from the beginning?
Let's look at the teams first, so we can
Okay, the
say.
first teams, I took them. I got your notes. I don't remember who was on what color, but one team was Ricard, Erica, Shan, Heather, and Naseer. The other team was Liana, Danny, Deshawn, Xander, and Evie. The challenge, hey Dan, we see you out in the chat. The challenge, they had to hold on to something like this with just the heels, this much of the heels of their feet on a board. It looked painful. It looked like torture techniques. Like, I can't imagine on your back. That's like torturous. So I think the longest, I think they said they were up there for like 30 minutes. On one team, Erica won, which Erica needed to win. If Erica didn't win, she was gone.
Yeah.
On the other team, Xander won. And I thought by Xander winning, we would see some sparks on that other team, but no. So what team do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the Xander team or the Erica team? And mind you, Xander's team won some kind of stew.
Right.
They won
so let's
food.
talk about the losers first. Let's talk about Erica's team and why Naseer was either the right or the wrong choice for the one to be gone.
Let's think about it. When I first saw Erica won, I thought this was an easy vote. I said, okay, Erica has the necklace. She's in danger. But her girlfriend, Heather, she can just go. That's an easy vote. Get Heather out the way and let's move forward. Not that Heather is a strategic threat, but neither is Naseer. But I understood they got Naseer because they wanted to get that idol out the way and whatever other advantages Naseer had out the way.
Yeah, I agree with. Well, first, foremost, I didn't know Heather and Erica had any type of relationship. Like, this was my first time seeing that in this particular episode. So that was kind of
This
like.
is really the first episode we saw Heather. So we don't know what
Right.
Heather has. She hasn't been on the show.
Right. And then, personally, I was so happy Erica got the necklace. Because I told you, after the episode where she was like, had to bang the thing, that I switched over to like wanting to see her journey and wanting to see her compete and see how far she can actually go. So I wanted Erica to be safe. We saw Ricard and Shan beef in this episode. That was the big thing with that group, because y'all don't nobody want to admit that Shan is not a good player, but it's but Ricard kept trying to educate her on, girl, we need to get rid of the person that has advantages. We need to get rid of the person that has something in their pocket. And at the end of the day, we saw her use hers for the wrong reason, and it was a waste of an advantage. But yeah,
I got a lot to say about the Shan situation because I am a Shan fan. I like Shan, and I think Shan is a good player. What Shan is falling victim of, excuse me, is playing for everybody else and not herself. Like, I don't feel like, and I don't know if because I am that type of person as well, I don't feel like Shan overtalks people, and I think it's the edit. Like, I think Shan listens to everyone. Like Shan says, how am I not a team player? Last week we did what Deshaun wanted to do. This week we did what Ricard wanted to do. I think Shan got played this week because I think Ricard just wanted to get rid of her extra vote. That extra vote was not needed. And Ricard also got rid of Naseer's idol. But I think Shan is getting a bad rep. I hated the beginning of the episode how Shan and Deshaun went in separate corners and were bashing each other, then came back, apologized, then start arguing again. I think they're just two people. Shan and Deshaun.
Shan and Deshaun.
Remember the beginning of the episode? They went in separate corners, and I can't stand Shan. She doesn't let me talk. I can't stand
that
Deshaun.
was fallout from last episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like Ricard threw that back in Shan's face, like, girl, you're not listening to me. I'm not. Ricard did say, I'm not here to play your game. And I felt him when he said that. Because I also like Ricard. You know, I like Ricard as well. I think for Shan, getting rid of Naseer was a bad move.
Shan really didn't have a say-so in the situation. The majority of the group wanted Naseer gone, and she wasted her extra vote trying to get rid of Heather instead of going with the group. She didn't go.
No,
she
Ricard
didn't go
told
with
her to play that extra vote.
Not to get rid of Heather.
She played it on one of each. She voted one for Naseer, one for Heather to make sure it would be a tie. Which I don't know why you need to make sure it's a tie.
She did the opposite of what she was supposed to do. He told her that he wanted Heather to stay and Naseer to go. She thought she was slick and voted her extra vote to get rid of Heather. For that
but
reason,
it ended up being a tie. If she wanted to do that, why not vote twice on Heather? So Heather would be out.
But she did. Her regular vote was for Heather. The extra vote was for Heather, and Naseer voted for Heather. That was 3 votes for Heather. The other 3
I'm so confused.
Why are you confused? The other 3 people, Ricard, Heather, and Erica, voted for Naseer. Shan 2 votes, and Naseer voted for Heather. She did vote for Heather twice.
If Shan wanted Heather to go home that bad, all she had to do was say, Naseer, they voting for you, play your idol. And Heather would have went home. Yeah, why tie it up when
she wasted that extra vote.
Right.
She wasted
that doesn't make sense for her to vote twice for Heather, then just to turn around and vote Naseer out.
Because she thought she was going to outplay Ricard. She thought, well, he wants me to vote for Naseer, but if I vote for Naseer and do my extra vote, then maybe I can get Heather out. No, it wasn't going to work. It didn't work. Your math is not mathing, sweetie.
Right, that math doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you want Heather out, all you have to do is say, Naseer, Ricard is going to vote for you with Erica and Heather, play your idol. So that's all Shan had to do.
3 mm-hmm.
3 versus 3 doesn't make sense.
Yeah, she wasted her extra vote. It was literally a waste. So her saying she did what Ricard wanted is a complete lie. And that's why her and Ricard are going to fall out next episode. And yeah, we will see. Y'all love y'all.
They say Ricard is manipulating Shan. I agree. And they're saying this was not a good move for Shan.
And mind you,
because he told her to play that extra vote, and it wasn't necessary in either situation.
Ricard is somebody that I have not liked this whole. Y'all have seen me call him Slithery.
That's what I thought.
Call him Snake. No,
I thought she voted for each.
She did not.
I'm confused.
Y'all not good at math. Let's go ahead and you can do the math again if y'all think that she did 2 separate votes. That would have been 4 and 2.
It just doesn't
I'll
make
let y'all do the
sense.
math again before we move on. Go ahead, do the math again.
I mean, what you said for the math, it does make sense. It just doesn't make that move wasn't an extra vote was not necessary to get out Naseer. So I do feel like Ricard manipulated Shan into using that extra vote because it wasn't necessary. If Shan had any kind of brain, she would have said, why does Shan need to put 2 votes on Naseer?
She didn't need to.
Right, so Ricard was
But you
manipulating
can't blame
Shan to get
Ricard
rid
for
of that
that.
vote.
You cannot blame Ricard for that. Shan is the dummy. Shan didn't have to use her extra vote. You can't keep blaming stuff on other people. Shan could have chose not to use her extra vote and voted Naseer out like everybody else. There was already the votes there. She didn't have to do no extra vote. She did that without thinking. Even if he did tell her to do it, she didn't have to do anything.
She didn't have to do it.
Right. So we can't keep blaming Ricard. She
But
chose to do
Ricard
that.
wants advantages out because he first
As he
said,
should, because he don't have
give
nothing.
me your extra vote so I can vote out Naseer. She was like, no, I'll do it. I promise I'll do it. Ricard wants advantages out, and people should be on to his game. And as he should, because I like Ricard. He don't got nothing
in his pockets, and he needs to get rid of everything. He's playing.
I agree.
He is running.
Now, Charles, they say your math ain't mathing, and I apologize. I didn't take notes, so I don't know. They said on Survivor she voted for both.
Somebody that is a college graduate, Wikipedia is not a reliable source. So don't come over here with Wikipedia said.
No, 1 vote Shan voted for Naseer and Heather. Then she voted for Naseer. I'm confused.
That does not.
What
make
Charles
sense.
says makes sense, but
right. Whoever is saying that don't know how to add.
I don't know.
The 3 votes for Naseer were from Ricard, Erica, and Heather. The other 3 votes could only come from 2 people. Those other 2 people were Shan, who we know used her extra, and Naseer, who thought Heather was going home.
And so, okay, forget the math. Ultimately, do you think Naseer going home was the best choice for the week?
For whose game? For Ricard's game, this was
not
perfect.
For Ricard's game, yes. For Shan's game, no.
Because he has a great relationship with Erica and Heather and Shan. So, to be honest, Ricard is the popular man at the table right now. So,
Ricard's name is still not being mentioned.
Yeah, he's the popular kid at the table right now. He's running laps around the fan favorite right now.
I like Ricard, so I'm not mad at that. Shan is in danger. She will be going home pretty soon. Let's jump over to the other tribe where Evie went home. This to me was Survivor 101. This one I have more discussion for because I don't know why Evie went home. I'm happy Evie went home, but I thought the best move for Xander would be to try to break up the power alliance of Danny, Deshawn, Liana, Ricard, and whoever else. I done forgot some people. Shan.
Yeah. Liana got played in her face again this episode.
Liana doesn't know how to control her emotions because I noticed at the challenge, she was like, "Ugh, I can't stand his face. Look at him up there. I can't stand him."
To Xander and asked for his idol, like, I would feel better if you let me hold it. You know how dumb you look, girl.
Liana's not going to win the game. She
played herself. He was like, I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen. I'm not.
Shan wouldn't even do that. Your homegirl wouldn't even do that. Why would your enemy, who already has a immunity necklace, let you hold his idol?
Yeah, they're just making Xander look better and better and better. On his resume,
no, that was dumb. Anybody, Survivor 101, anybody would have said,
yeah,
girl.
But still, Xander looks good. As somebody that was at the bottom, Xander looks good on paper compared to almost the rest of them, except
Xander right now is the only one with the resume really to win this game. Really. What you drinking?
This is a Smirnoff Ice. I
Oh,
ain't want to
okay.
give them no shout out. They ain't giving me no coins, so I
But
ain't
they
want to
ain't
give
give
them
you
no
no
shout out.
coins. You ain't have to show it. You could have just hinted. But okay, back to the subject at hand. So for this one, I thought in my mind, for the long game, Xander should have tried to save Evie and got rid of. I probably wouldn't have went for Liana. I would have took a shot at Deshaun or Danny.
For whose game?
Xander's game.
Xander's only one vote. How was he gonna get rid of Deshaun, Danny, or
Evie
Liana?
would have voted with him.
That's two people. For you to
If you
get
have,
somebody
they were
out.
all voting for Evie. If he would have gave Evie the idol, which would have saved Evie, then Deshaun could have went home.
Yeah, but why would you give Evie your idol? He was gonna.
He was gonna
He
do it 2 tribals ago. What's the
no, he
difference?
won't. He's trying to do the okey doke on them and try to use the threat of the idol being used as like a like a leeway type thing. I don't know if that's not the right word of choice, but as like a distraction. He's trying to say, "Oh well, we might use it on Evie. We might use it on Evie," knowing he's not going to really use it on her. Even after
Yeah,
she went, even
he has
after
to
she
keep
went
it for
home,
himself.
that smirk he had on his face, like, good job, y'all. He doesn't care that Evie went home. He
I
doesn't
wouldn't either.
care.
He doesn't know Evie from anybody else off the street. Why would
Right.
I
He
care if
doesn't
Evie goes
deep
home?
down doesn't care. He just happy that I got this thing around my neck and I got my idol still and boom. I'm out playing all y'all.
That was the best move for Xander because at least if he doesn't win immunity next week, he still has protection. I already told, well, I was wrong because I thought the people with idols would go further in the game and they tricked Naseer. Now let's go back to that other team.
But I told you on one of our other reviews that Naseer was gonna go home with it in his pocket.
You said it. You said it. Now, do you think that Heather, when she had that theatrical cry at tribal council, like, this is my dream, I can't wait for my kids to see me, I'm so proud of myself, I know I'm going home, do you think that was acting so Naseer wouldn't play his idol, or was she
Yeah,
really like, I'm going
that's what it
home?
was. That's exactly what it was.
Heather needs an Oscar for that. That was some great acting.
You
That's how
know,
you cry and make people believe.
I don't know if there was any tears, but
She was crying.
she put her head down. She was doing all
She
this.
had her head down.
She was like, and when Jeff was like, "You ready to?" Not Jeff. What's his name?
His name
Is it
Jeff.
Jeff? Is it
Yeah.
Jeff? Okay. I'm thinking about TJ. Anyways, he was like, "Okay, it's time to vote." She grabbed her hand. She was like, "Okay, I'm ready."
I'm ready. I know I'm going home. I'm just so happy my kids. I was like, Heather is up here
She was
acting.
playing
And
a
I was
role,
like,
but
she's doing a good job.
you know who did the exact opposite this episode? On was it that same team? No, the other team, Danny. So they were trying to make it seem like that they were going to vote out Liana at one point, so Xander
That he
wouldn't
wouldn't play his
use
idol.
Idol,
Mm-hmm.
and then Deshaun, Evie, they walk away, and Danny, dummy, is standing there with Xander and is like, "Yo, well, she's really a threat. She's a threat." And then it dawns on him again. Well, I might have to use it. We did this whole little fake spiel about getting rid of Liana so we can make him not think we're going to do that,
I agree.
every episode,
Danny
Danny
isn't
does
smart.
something.
He doesn't know how to play the game. Like I said, Danny is physical, and is he only a physical threat in team immunity challenges? Because I expected for him to win some of these individual ones, and he's not doing that good of a job.
He's only good when it's like you got to carry stuff and yeah.
Team stuff.
Yeah.
Dan says he hates that everyone knows who has an advantage in immunity idol.
Me
And I
too.
agree.
Me too. Me too,
That was
Dan.
the disadvantage of having to do those secret phrases at the beginning of the game.
That secret fairies thing is dumb. I hope they never bring that back. As many times as they had to repeat themselves, I do not want to see that again on TV.
It ruins the fun of thinking you're going to vote somebody out and they be like, aha. Because now it's not an aha. It's kind of like now we have to do our acting like Heather to make these people feel so safe. Because can anybody else act as good as Heather did? Like, that was some great acting.
I don't know if it was all that, but
it was to me because I was
I don't know
like,
if it was all that.
Is she fronting?
It worked on Naseer, but Naseer was already feeling a slight guilt about it, about not using it on her and only using it on himself. So that's a different
No, he
thing about
wasn't.
it. Yeah, he
Heather was
was.
the
Because
one who got up last tribal saying, "Get Naseer. Let's get Naseer." So he was like, "Hell no, I'm not using it on you."
No, he felt I think he felt a slight bit of guilt. That's why he assumed for sure she was going home. Because I feel like if he didn't feel safe, like if he thought she was faking it, I feel like he would have used it. He didn't think she was faking it because he actually felt like, dang, she is kind of hurt.
I was falling for Heather at first until she was like, "Oh, I'm just so proud of myself, Jeff, and I just want my kids to be proud of me too." I'm like,
No,
she
if you're
acting.
following along, if you know the plot of the
She's
story,
acting.
you're not gonna fall for that. No, we know the plot, so we shouldn't be falling for that.
Luke and Angelo might start barking because it's a dog next door that's barking.
I like your earrings.
Really? Guess how much I paid for these? I don't want to shout the company out, but guess how much?
$250.
$2?
Yeah.
No, $1.
Uh-oh. I like them though.
I like them too. They remind me of when Portia had them on for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm sure hers were probably $2,000, but I was like, for $1.
Because I was thinking you got them like when you were doing the whole paparazzi thing. I was like, oh, those are nice.
Close. Let's see what another comment says. I don't like that Xander is heavily relying on his idol. It's like Ben when he relied on safety through idols and made no connections, yet won because of the threat. If he wins, I'm not gonna like it.
I think it's kind of common because we saw Tony do the same thing. Tony had them two idols and he kept showing them during tribals during his season to make people afraid of voting for him because they thought they were going to waste their vote. So there was a season where Tony basically got all the way to the end because he kept flashing his idol.
I'm not mad at it. That's the point of having an idol, is to rely on
You
it.
you better flaunt what you got, baby, because that's your lifeline. What I always wondered, like, what if somebody did steal it? Can you do that? Like if Liana would have took it out of his bag and like hid it somewhere, and he
I
don't
don't
have
think
it?
you can steal. I think if Xander would have gave it to Liana, like say, yeah, hold it for me, and she doesn't have to give it back. But I don't think they allow you to steal because people would just steal all the time. Like they would have stole it when they went through his bag the first time.
That's why I'm saying I feel like if she would have took it and like dug a hole and put it in the hole, and then when he goes to tribal, he don't got it. I would like
Now,
something
I
like
do
that.
think if you had it in a hole and somebody just happens to find your hole, oh, now we done found the idol. But I don't think you can go in people's bags and steal their stuff.
But people
Right?
go
Like
in
you
bags
can't
all the time.
steal. But you can't steal. Like I can go in your bag and look to see if you have it. But see, this season, I don't even understand why you have to look. Everybody said the butterflies, billy goats, and broccoli. So we know who has it. Dan wants to
So
know, who do we think won this episode? Like this episode.
Ricard, by far, Ricard went from the Robin to Batman to her Batman to him now running the table because his connection with the other two on their little team or the Erica and Heather, is closer than her relationship to them too.
And if you think about it, Ricard is probably closer with Danny and Deshaun than Shan, because Deshaun doesn't like Shan. So they probably will keep Ricard over Shan as well.
Yeah, and Danny and Deshaun and Ricard and Naseer had like a guy thing, but
Mm-hmm.
that they kind of developed over going to like when they would like eat and stuff, like reward challenges. But
Another thing that I thought was kind of strange, Shan's team and Ricard and them, they got to vote first. They voted out Naseer, and Naseer, I understand he's a part of the jury, so he got to watch the second tribal council. But by Naseer being the vote, it kind of could have whistled to the other team like, damn, they kind of know who's going home. So could they might have switched their strategy? Like, we just lost Naseer, so we don't want to lose Liana.
I kind of agree. I feel like maybe they shouldn't have revealed who went home on the other team. Kind of agree with that. But I still don't think it would change the outcome because Evie was going to go home. As long as.
But even if Deshaun had it in his mind, like, I'm going to pull a fast one and get rid of Liana anyway, because we don't know. But by him seeing Naseer up there, he was like, okay, I can't let go of two numbers. Evie has to go.
Nah, I don't think he was ever going to vote for Liana anyway. That was just a distraction. Him, Danny, Evie, and Xander were using Liana as the distraction for Xander not to use his idol. I don't think he was ever going to really vote for her. That's just editing stunts, and they have the not cookout part 2 really, but he was not going to vote Liana out.
I agree. Eventually, they're going to have to go there. So we know Naseer and what's the child name? Evie is now on the jury. Do you think...
She forgetting her name already.
I be forgetting. Do you think we have two fair jurors, or are they going to be bitter jurors?
I think Naseer will be fair. I think he respects the game. Evie, I feel like if by like the Holy Ghost in the universe, Xander gets to the end, he's going to automatically get her vote, no matter who else is there. So I do think she will have a bias if her friend is there. What do you think?
I think that's why Xander has to go. Like, some kind of way you have to get Xander out of the game, because he already has 2 votes. He has 2 locked in votes on the jury, period. And if Xander gets to the end of the game, I think he wins anyway, because he has to have some kind of resume to get to the end of the game.
Right. But he's been playing good. Him and Ricard have been playing. Him, Ricard, and Deshaun, for me, have been playing the best game. I feel like Deshaun has been... Well, I kind of felt it with Deshaun early on. But Deshaun is, like, becoming a different person. Like, the last, like, maybe 2 episodes, Deshaun's, like, representative that he was playing is leaving. And he's, like, showing his true self. Deshaun doesn't even... His body language, the way he looks like a different person on the screen.
Well, he's losing weight. They aren't eating.
He's not the same. Like, at the beginning, he seemed like a little fluffy, like, nice, cool guy. He is not coming off like that no more. In the group,
Deshaun is aggravating me because I don't like how he's right. Deshaun has a bad attitude, and that's just period. I don't like how you aren't letting me talk. You aren't doing what I want to do. You aren't listening. I'm like, this is Survivor. If you have a dumb idea, I'm gonna tell you no. Like,
And
You
it's
got
been
to
the
say
last
your
two episodes. The last two episodes,
right. He has a
he
bad
has
attitude, and
like
I think
changed
for someone who has no protection, he's doing too much.
because he was. Let's be honest. He was in the best position. He was
He
on the
was, but look
winning
at what the blue
team.
team is doing. They're getting rid of the blue team. The blue team isn't even trying to be blue strong. They're like, okay, Erica can go, Heather can go, Naseer can go. Like the blue team wants to vote out each other. They're gonna let yellow and green get to the end.
Kinda, because two of the people in the jury were not on the blue team. Tiffany, she won't on the blue team.
But
Evie won't on the blue team. So
let me
I
call
would under,
bullshit on something real quick.
I would understand if it was like blue, 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 like all the blues gone. Like damn, y'all
I
gave
think
away
it
your
will
advantage.
be. I think it will be, but I'm gonna call bullshit on something real quick because Danny was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Naseer is sitting up in the jury." When it was just last week, Danny and Deshaun wanted Naseer out. So how are they so shocked?
Wait, say it again. You said why are they
Just
shocked?
last week, Danny and Deshaun wanted Naseer gone. And they were all in
Mm-hmm.
Liana's, not Liana's, but Shan's face. You aren't letting me talk. You aren't listening to my vote. I got a voice
Right.
too.
Shan was
And
in the right in
now
that position. Shan was like, "No, we're not doing that. No."
I still don't. I think Naseer is to me a loyal list. Like I don't see Naseer ever going against Shan, ever going to sin against Deshaun. You know, if Naseer is with you, I think he's with you. Now I don't think he's gonna play his idol for you, but I think he's voting with you. And I think it was too soon to get rid of somebody that was gonna be loyal to you. Like Erica is going to slit your throat. She doesn't care anything about the blue team, none of that. Heather is a vote for Erica. So now you got two people that's willing to slit your throat still in the game.
I'm root. I'm like silently rooting for Erica. Well, I've said it up here, but I want Erica to do well because after she smashed that thing, she was already on the outs, like literally.
Yeah.
So
Erica was on the outs before that,
right, they was already talking about sending you home, baby. So seeing
before
if
they
she
even knew
can,
about a time clock. She was going home.
just to see how far she can go, I would be, proud of her gameplay, and I feel like she hasn't created any enemies. Who do you think? I guess this kind of goes with that thing too. Who do you think coming out of this episode has the best game going on?
Okay, let's end with that question. I just want to show the shady comment real quick. Miguel says he thinks Nasir will vote for somebody blue, a OG blue team member, if they make it to the end. I don't agree with that because if Erica and Heather are sitting there, he voting for them. But Miguel called Evie Effie, and it reminds me of Effie from Dreamgirls.
Yes, heavy, heavy.
I forgot that Evie
You guys are
was
heavy,
woman strong.
baby.
I don't know if Evie is just going to vote for a woman if a woman gets to the end. I think Evie is going to be a hater. She's definitely not going to vote for Liana if she's there or Shan. So I don't agree with any of that. I think Naseer may vote for a man, like if Deshaun or Danny, but I don't see him voting for a blue woman. And Evie is a hater. The only woman she would vote for probably would have been Tiffany, and Tiffany is on the jury with her. So
I kind of okay. So half and half. Um, with Miguel's comment, I do think I do kind of believe the first half. Like Naseer with the boys clique of, like you said, Deshaun and Danny being blue. If they're there, I think they're gonna get his vote because those are
mm-hmm.
his supposed to be his
His
guys.
friends.
He can't
And they
blame
didn't
them
vote him
for
out.
his
Had
right
nothing
for
to do
his
with it. Yep.
eviction. So in that case, it would be somebody blue. Now with old girl, she's not voting for no woman up there. The only person I see
Mm-mm.
her voting for is not Heather, for Xander, for
Xander,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. The one, the only.
And if Xander's not there, she might do some eeny, meeny, miny, mo shit. Like,
Right.
because to me, Evie is a hater. But I kind of agree. Erica is good at the strategy. Like, we got to hear more of her strategy and just her thoughts this week. And she is a dark horse to go far in the game. So I don't necessarily hate Erica. I'm just not rooting for her. Like, she's not someone I'm like, yeah, get there, Erica. Like, I still like other people in front of her. But
So are they just this two groups for 1 week?
yeah, they're back to a merged tribe next week.
That was dumb. Why did they do that?
You know what? I'm not on the production staff, but I agree. I don't like
That
that
was
they
dumb.
have to pick rocks, go to separate teams, and then have two separate tribals.
They're probably gonna do this again when it gets down to like 8 or like 6.
No, please don't do this again. I understand they're doing it to speed up the game because they only have what, like a few days left because it's at 26 days. So they only have a few days left. So it's not like they're going
This
30
season,
something days.
this season was just not giving what needed to be gave. I love me some Survivor, and
It's
this
giving,
season
Charles.
is not. It's just not that girl. She's not that girl. She's not the one. She's not the one. She's not her.
I like this season. It could be that I'm just a Survivor fan, but I like this season. I don't like the changes. Like, Survivor wasn't broken, so we didn't need to try to fix it. So I don't like your fixes, CBS,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still here for it.
I'm into it. I'm into it. But it's for it to be coming to a close in the next like 4 episodes or something. Um, girl,
Yeah, it's not that many episodes left because I think it's
this
over
game
before Christmas.
this
So
game just started 2 episodes ago. The real game just started two
right, it
episodes
didn't
ago.
get really good into the merge, but we're getting close to trio time. So let's get to your question that you asked. As of right now,
Coming out of this episode,
who do I think is the strongest to win the game?
yeah. I guess let's give your top 3. I guess.
Okay, I can do a top 3 because it all depends on how things maneuver. I
Mm-hmm.
think one of the top 3, and this is in random order, one of the top 3 I'm going to give to Xander because Xander has shown that he might can win out. He might not even have to use his idol. He might can win out. And if by chance he does lose one individual immunity, he still has an idol. So I'm going to put Xander up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put Ricard because I see what Ricard is doing. Ricard is getting ready to break away from Shan. He's going to pick up a Xander. He's going to pick up Erica and Heather. And he might can slide Deshaun. I don't know. But I think Ricard is getting ready to pick up an army of the low-hanging fruits and make some moves. So I think Xander, Ricard, Shan ain't winning. I don't see Deshaun winning. I just don't see people letting them get there. I really can't even think of a third.
But Shan is very even though Shan is such a bad player, she is highly protected. Shan
By
is
who?
protected by there's 3 black people that won't vote for her, that won't get her out, or they act like they wouldn't get her out.
2. 1. I'll give her Liana only. Because Deshaun will vote for her and Danny will vote with Deshaun.
But if they have their group, hopefully that won't happen until it gets to the final 5 or something.
They aren't cookout-ish to me. They aren't gonna hold strong to the final 5.
Right. And then
I
she
don't
got
see it.
Ricard. Ricard may have a soft spot still for her. Who knows? But he'll be the reason she
Ricard
goes
isn't
home.
gonna cut her throat into probably final 5. He's gonna hold on to Shan until that idol isn't necessary anymore, and then Shan is gone. I can only give you 2. Right now, I see Ricard or Xander with the resumes to win. if Erica can actually, I mean, I give Erica credit for being a part of the Naseer vote out. But if Erica needs to make a few more moves for me to jump on the Erica train, but I don't see it for anybody else. So I can only give you two. Xander, Ricard. Who are your three?
My three to possibly win it. I agree with the two you have. Xander, if he's there, he might be like almost an automatic win.
Yeah.
Ricard, I think strategically might be the best person there. Because you have to think about it. Ricard went through a whole bunch of eliminations already. He stayed safe several times until it was just them two left. And now
no one is saying Ricard's name.
And now he's maneuvering within the other people. Mm-hmm. And Shan is doing all her little preaching over here and getting on people's nerves. So those two are for sure. Now, my guy that I was thinking was going to win the season, Deshaun. I still think he's in a great position. He's going to be my third person. I think he's still in a great position because, I don't really see anybody calling him out right now. Like right now, nobody's really saying he's annoying to us, but I don't really see nobody saying his name and stuff like that. But yeah, so those are my three. Deshaun,
I can see Deshaun getting there, but will he have a resume greater than Ricard's in Sanders?
Yeah, he would be in third place for me.
Let's flip the script. Who do you think, no matter what, is going to be sitting in the final three? Like as a layup, as we would call it on the challenge.
Oh, the layup.
Do you think Erica can get dragged? I think Heather, since Heather made it through this week, I think Heather is a guaranteed layup in the final three. Because why would you ever waste a vote on Heather now? Do you think they will see Erica as the same?
I feel like it's a battle. It's going to be between Heather and Danny. I could see Danny being the layup.
I already forgot about Danny.
Right. Where people don't see him as like a social threat. So they're like, well, let me sit beside him. He won't be able to conjure up a final speech. He won't answer the final questions correctly. So he's not really a threat to my social game.
He will be like Big D.
Yeah.
Like he thinks he played a good game, but wait till we start asking you questions.
Yeah, I think it's either him or Heather because I see them getting rid of Erica. I see them getting rid of Liana. I see them getting rid of basically everybody else when they get a moment.
Really, Liana could be a layup as well because every move she tried to make has failed. And we don't reward you for failure. So you could be like,
yeah,
girl,
but she's trying to but the thing is she's trying to play the game. The other one, Heather, she's presenting herself as not playing the game. So
is Liana trying to play the game or does she just have such a distaste for Xander?
I think Liana's trying to play, but she's not playing well. Who's worse, Liana or Shan?
Liana. Liana is worse because at least Shan did what she had to do on her team. Liana was fucking up all the way over there on the yellow team as well. Dan said he expected more from an NFL player, and I agree.
Oh my God,
I'm surprised nobody even recognizes him from the NFL. And I showed my husband a picture of him.
He talks about it. He brought it up in the
he must be one of those what they call journeymen, where they go from team to team to team. Because my husband was like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "His name is Danny, and I know he at least played for the Cowboys." And he was like,
"But you know how many players are on a football team? That's a lot of people."
So he wasn't a good player. Because my husband follows football crazily, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, he brought it up in one of the tribals. Was it last season?
He
Not last
did.
season. Last episode, where he was like, "Yeah, I'm used to competing in stadiums where da da da." He
Well,
brought it up
remember, he
already.
already admitted to being a college football player, so they still performing, playing stadiums in college.
Oh, true.
Be quiet, Luke.
True. Well, and either way, it don't really matter. I
It
don't think.
doesn't.
I don't think it really matters because he's not winning competitions right now.
Nope. Well, we have 4 minutes into trio time. And if you all don't know, if you all watch us do the challenge, this week we are really in 4 minutes. Me, myself, I keep saying
And
me,
I.
myself. Myself, Charles, and Drew will be doing our fantasy updates for the challenge 37 in a few minutes. So,
Did you get the points right, or do we gotta go over them points?
I'm gonna send everybody the spreadsheet before the season is over.
Because the
But
Sapphire team, 2 of the 3 are on my team.
let me tell you, Charles, you had to come back. When I tell you the scores of the fantasy, everybody first to third is 10 points.
And the other person on Sapphire is on your team. Love
But
that.
I'm trying to tell you, from first to third is 10 points. So Drew had to run for it with his Emerald team, but it's a 10-point variance now. So it's very close. It's very close.
Cool.
Somebody says Shan is worse than Liana.
I think
No
it
shade,
might be.
but their game. She says
No
that,
shade.
or Miguel says their gameplay is like Davon and Bailey because Shan gives me Mama Day's paranoia. Look, I ain't never I like Davon and Bailey, but I ain't never went up for their gameplay. So Miguel, I'm with you when you're right.
I think Shan is a horrible.
I don't think Shan is horrible.
Shan has been playing a horrible game. Not her personality, not her as a person. I think she's adorable. I think she is personable. People draw to her like a magnet. But when it comes to thought processes and decision making, every episode, no mistake, since episode number 1, she has made bad decisions every single episode. She could be standing there with somebody other than Ricard. She should be there with JD.
Well, didn't we already state that JD was you got me saying JD. That Ricard was the mastermind and Shan was the face, like she was the approachable person that could carry out Ricard's strategies. Like we already said that. And that's why Ricard was mad. He was like, I'm not even getting credit for any of this stuff.
Which shows that she is doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
Okay, well, we have to go. So we're going to thank everyone for joining us this week for Survivor. You know, me and Charles will be back every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, with our Survivor reviews. Up next, we're getting ready to do the challenge. We hope you all jump over. We're going to have a good time on the challenge with the trio. We're going to go over our fantasy teams. We're going to give recaps on the episodes. And we have some fun news and gossip and games. So a lot coming up in the next minute. So let's turn it off, Charles. Please support my friend Charles. Follow him at Charles Warren on Instagram so you can check out all of his great products. You can purchase them at charleswarrenpresents.com.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I put a muscle on my back and I've been using that vapor rub and I've been using it on my knee after the gym. The products are amazing. Go ahead and follow me everywhere at Kiss My Cheeks TV as well. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everything. We'll catch you all in 60 seconds. All right. Have a good night. Bye.